Welcome to the Healthy Summer Kickoff for Lowell 2013. I'm Amy Pessia. I'm the Executive Director of the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, and we're proud to be a sponsor of the Summer Food Service Program here in Lowell. We have been running this program over the last 9 years, and we adopted the program from Maycom Food Share, which operated the program for 8 years prior to that. I'd like to thank LTC for coming to cover the event to help us kick this off. And I'd also like to acknowledge City Councilor Marty Laurie and thank him for joining us. Councilor Laurie has been instrumental in increasing participation and administration of children's programming here in Lowell. I'd also like to thank our board president, Jimmy Good, for joining us and for his support of our organization, and George Anastas, who's our board vice president, and of course our board members and staff that are here to join us today. The Lowell Public Schools completed their school year yesterday. The children will have 9 weeks off. They are excited beyond belief, but their parents and guardians may be a little anxious about how to provide all 3 meals during the summer when they're used to having the children receiving food during the school year through the free and reduced lunch programs. There are several people who will be helping to nourish those children over the summer months and also to provide activities to help keep them engaged so that when they return to school in September, they'll be ready to learn. Some of the locations include Lowell Public Schools, and some of our partners in the community include the Lowell Parks and Recreation Department, Lowell Community Health Center, the YWCA, Mahoney Properties, which has experiences for the residents of the North Canal Apartments, and the Lowell Housing Authority. It's my pleasure to introduce one of our partners from the city government, Mayor Patrick Murphy, who recognizes the importance of helping families access good, nutritious food.
Thank you very much for being here. I'm happy to be here with my colleague, Councilor Marty Laurie, who has been very supportive of the whole Parks program throughout the city and certainly throughout the year for the food bank. I've seen this issue through my parents' eyes. Both were school teachers in the Lowell Public Schools. My father at the high school, but my mother at the Rogers School, where 97% were free and reduced lunch. And many times, those were the only 2 real meals that the kids would ever have during the day. But the needs continue after school ends. And this is where this partnership between city government and national government and certainly our local nonprofit has come into play so that our children can continue to learn throughout the summer, can continue to play as it should be throughout the summer. And so I'm very happy to kick off this year's Healthy Summer. And I thank everybody involved in making this happen. And we're looking forward to a great summer full of fun. Thanks very much.
Thank you. You just made me think of a tagline, fun and food. So thanks to the dedicated employees at our organization, funding and support from the USDA and our partners in the city, we're able to provide lunches to children. Nutritious lunches while children are engaging in activities, academic, physical, and cultural. I'd like to acknowledge Officer Jose Santiago, who's joining us. He's with the Lowell Police Department, and that department runs a terrific summer academy camp, which helps children with basic first aid and CPR, with DARE education, some field trips, and it also helps build relationships between the children in the city and with law enforcement. So we thank you for continuing that program. We are honored today to be joined by James Arena DeRosa. He's the Regional Director of the USDA Food and Nutrition Service. As a member of the Senior Executive Service, James leads a team that includes 100+ employees located in Boston, New York, and throughout the region. So that includes Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. He's also a member of the National Leadership Team shaping national policy, program, and agency management. As the agency continues to devote more attention to broader nutrition education and healthy lifestyles, James is now embarking on new partnerships with academic, healthcare, and government agencies, and community advocates and partners throughout the Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, James Arena DeRosa.
Thank you very much, Amy. I'm delighted to be here with you today in Lowell, and certainly thank you, Mayor Murphy and Council Laurie. And we really have such great partners up here in the Merrimack Valley. I had a chance to see the Merrimack Valley Food Bank this morning. It was a great tour. Amy Pescia does a wonderful job. Had a chance to meet Chairman Good and Vice Chair Anastas. We were talking a little bit, reminiscing a little bit about Democratic politics in Lowell and Bobby Kennedy and Chad Atkins and Marty Meehan and others, showing my age a little bit, but it's still very involved when I can be. But I do want to thank, I have just a few words to give you a little bit of a federal perspective on this issue, and we've got great partners here with the schools, the Boys and Girls Clubs. I definitely wanted to mention and thank the Lowell Parks and Recreation Department and certainly the Lowell Housing Authority as we continue to look for more ways to reach kids during the summer. As your mayor said, it's hard to reach all of them, and we have a challenge. You know, on the national level, we serve 21 million children during the school year, free and reduced, that are eligible for lunch programs. But we only reach 3 million of them during the summer. That's 1 out of 7. Now, actually, we do a little bit better in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, we reach only 20%. That's 1 in 5, but we have to do better. And we have great partners at the state level. Certainly, the Mass Department of Education is a great partner. I know we have somebody here from Project Bread. Ashley's here as well. They help us throughout, and I'm going to, in a little bit, I will give the hotline number because sometimes people know. Amy mentioned some of the sites, but we want to give some specifics as well. But why is this important? I mean, instinctively, when children are growing, nutrition is such an important part of wellness and being prepared to learn and grow. And what I like to say is something that every parent and child and every parent and every teacher already knows. A kid who's hungry can't learn. They're anxious. They're not prepared for the school year. We have a challenge with school breakfast here in Massachusetts, but certainly in the summer, we don't want kids to come back from summertime and have lost time because they're behind and they're not excited about school. So summer lunch is such an important part of their day. And I will be back because we're going to try to do some events up here, but we know that kids that have chronic problems with nutrition are not ready to learn. And we want our children to be ready to contribute to society. We want them to grow to be good members of the community. So this is a great program that we sponsor. What we say all the time, good food is in while summer is out. You know, I mean, the kids are out of school. School's out, and they're excited about that. We want them to exercise, but we also want them to have good nutrition. It's really important. And I know that the food bank is going to be a great resource, and Amy listed several of the partners that are sponsoring sites. But I wanted to make sure that the number's out. We can put this up on the TV, but it's 800-645-8333. This is the Project Bread Food Source Hotline. Parents or even kids themselves can call if they want to know about a local site. Certainly in Lowell they can call, but anybody in the region can call because that number will tell them anywhere that you live in Massachusetts that it's a locator. There's also a mealsforkid.org website that also is a locator for summer programs as well. But let me again give that phone number because it's really important. It's 1-800-645-8333. And you know, just to wrap up, and I think we're happy to take questions or certainly be here, but as I said, a little bit of good news that we're doing a little bit better in Massachusetts. We serve almost 3 million meals all summer in Massachusetts, which is a great accomplishment. We have over 800 sites. So we are doing some good things, but we could be doing so much more. It's a really important part of shaping good citizens. We want kids to thrive and come back from a wonderful summer and be ready to learn. So thank you for all of the work that you do. I really appreciate being here.
It's a route of school, and when people don't typically think about donating to their local food bank, we truly appreciate the donations in November and December, but it's in the summer that people may not think, wow, I should do a food drive for the food bank at my place of work or worship. We encourage you to consider donating food of any amount to the food bank or to your local food pantry, because that's the time of year that the food bank is at the lowest level. So if we're providing 110 food programs, including pantries and meal programs, chances are they're almost out of food. We don't want anybody to be turned away when they're seeking help for emergency food assistance. We want people to be able to pay their bills using the resources they have, and if we can help them with a little bit of food, they can avoid, in some cases, having their electricity shut off or getting an eviction notice or a foreclosure notice. So everybody watching, everybody in the room has an ability to help by donating food to the food bank or the local food pantries and take the No Hunger Summer Pledge. Thank you all again for joining us, and if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And thank you all who partner with the food bank, all of the agencies here in Lowell, CTI, the Department of Planning and Development, our grant writer Eileen Cronauer, our partners at Middlesex Community College. We appreciate all of the help that you give to people in our community. Thank you again. Of year that the food bank is at the lowest level. So if we're providing 110 food programs, including pantries and meal programs, chances are they're almost out of food. We don't want anybody to be turned away when they're seeking help for emergency food assistance. We want people to be able to pay their bills using the resources they have, and if we can help them with a little bit of food, they can avoid, in some cases, having their electricity shut off or getting an eviction notice or a foreclosure notice. So everybody watching, everybody in the room has an ability to help by donating food to the food bank or the local food pantries and take the No Hunger Summer Pledge. Thank you all again for joining us, and if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And thank you all who partner with the food bank, all of the agencies here in Lowell, CTI, the Department of Planning and Development, our grant writer Eileen Cronauer, our partners at Middlesex Community College. We appreciate all of the help that you give to people in our community. Thank you again.